I'm making a peach and pistachio crumble, and it's a fantastic summertime dessert. And if it was wintertime, I would simply swap the peaches for something like ripe pears. I'll put all these notes on the recipe page of my website, so you can kind of have lots of ideas of how to make this at any time of the year. And what I've done is I've taken they're fairly big peaches, so I've taken 3 peaches and roughly chopped them up. You might need 4, I don't really know, it depends on the peach. But peaches are fantastic fruit when they're in season to use. And of course, these are ripe and lovely and sweet and really fragrant. So all I'm doing with them is I'm going to put a bit of lime zest with them. You could use lemon zest as well. That's up to you, whatever you have around. I'm using a bit of lime zest because it's so special. And summertime, this is my summertime dessert. I've got people coming around for dinner, and I think everyone's going to love this. So here we are. So if you don't want to put your oven on, because I tend to bake these in the oven, then you could easily just pop these peach pots into a microwave and just kind of like subtly warm them. You're not cooking the peaches. What you're doing is you're kind of warming them so they go even more fragrant. And that actually makes them completely delicious, I think. Now I'm going to need a teeny bit more peach here to fill up the last pot. And then we're ready to start making the topping. And this topping is just whatever I have in the house, to be honest. So pat down your peaches. There we go. And I'll put those out of the way. And what I'll do is I'll show you what I put on top. I tend to put about 60 grams of nuts or seeds, but nuts are great and crunchy. And nuts, of course, are full of protein and great fibre and anti-inflammatory oils and are great for your gut. And I love pistachios with these peaches. It's just an amazing combination. And so 60 grams of nuts is roughly about a tablespoon of nuts per pot or per person. And that's what I'm going to do here. And I'm just using pistachios because they're fun, they're colourful, they're tasty. You can use them whole. I'm just roughly cutting them up. Not all of them, just some of them. Just going to cut them up a little bit. Here we go. Okay. And pop them into my bowl here. And then I'm going to add a few oats. I don't want many oats. I just want roughly about half the quantity of nuts using oats. That's about 30 grams. And so that's here. That's probably about 1/3 of a cup. So that's that. And that's your base. Delicious. But what I'm actually going to also add in is a tablespoon of extra virgin olive oil. That's to make it lovely and sticky and a little bit luscious. I think traditionally with a crumble topping, you might have melted butter or something like that. And I think this is actually infinitely better to give it like slight bit of lusciousness. I'm also adding in some dark, these are really very dark. These are about 80% cocoa chocolate bits, and they'll melt. And how much I'm adding in, look, that's actually up to you. Probably I'm adding in a heaped teaspoon per pot. So that's roughly 4 teaspoons. And that is it. Now, I might just taste this. I might add a little smidgen of runny honey, partly because it's sticky and helps it stick together, and partly because it makes it a little bit sweeter. But I think that's actually really delicious. I have slightly warmed some honey, so it's a bit runny, and I'm adding in probably about 2 or 3 teaspoons. It's not very sweet honey, and so this is going to really help the crumble mixture just to stick together. It's very fragrant honey though, absolutely delicious. All right, so I've added the peaches here to the pots, and I packed them down quite firmly. And if I wasn't going to turn my oven on to bake this whole dish together, what I would have done is just warmed these pots and these peaches just gently in a microwave, so they're just warm, and that just makes them all lovely and fragrant. And then I would add this topping, but I'm actually going to bake this in the oven, and so I'm just going to add the topping here to each pot, and then I'm going to pack it down. So this topping, it's not only has it got nuts in, which has got great fibre and protein and anti-inflammatory oils, but it's got the polyphenols, which are the plant compounds, which are great and anti-inflammatory for in your gut and your gut microbes. And you've got a bit of fibre in the oats, which go actually lovely and crispy on top if you're baking this in the oven. So in fact, although this crumble topping tastes gorgeous, it is actually doing your gut a lot of good. Okay, so I just spread that about, here we go, and make sure it's packed down well. And then I'm gonna pop this in the oven, in a hot oven, just for maybe 10 minutes, just to crisp up the top and warm the peaches. If you're not using an oven, then pop it under a grill and just grill the top so it warms and just crisps slightly. I just brought these out of the oven and they're smelling gorgeous. And the top's a bit crispy, crunchy. They were about 10 minutes in a hot oven. And remember, the peaches don't need cooking, or if you're using ripe pears in wintertime, they don't actually need cooking. You're just warming them through. Now they're a bit hot to touch at the moment, and so I'm just going to leave them to cool for like just 5 minutes, and then I'm going to top them with my favourite topping. I'm just going to get one of the pots out and show you what I like to do, how I like to top them. And so I usually use thick Greek yogurt, but you could use a plant-style yogurt if you wanted to, or even go onto my website on my recipe page in my Christmas section, and there's a beautiful, healthy white chocolate mousse, and that would be a beautiful topping for this as well. But I'm using some Greek yogurt on the top, and then I actually like to get some toasted coconut. Just some shaved toasted coconut. This is unsweetened coconut, and it just adds a lovely crunch finish to this. And whilst I like to eat it whilst it's warm, so the chocolate's still a bit soft and warm, and I am literally salivating now. So full of fibre, vitamins, protein, anti-inflammatory oils. It's absolutely gorgeous, delicious, and I think you're gonna love it.